just watched Mr. Heavyweight Boxing today.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Chris, the Nightmare Ariel, and you're watching Mission Boxing.
It's your boy Big Baby Miller here. Listen, we knocking on all bums. First it's gonna be Dylan White, if it's gonna be Joseph Parker, but you know who got the story right? Mr. Boxing Today. You check him out. He got all the latest news on the heavyweight division. And if you don't know me, you soon will, because I'm kicking everybody ass.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man, so I got a chance to check out Teslenko versus Avery Gibson. This fight is on the ESPN app, so if you have that app, you can go to, I believe it's recent events, and check this fight out. So I just watched it, man. It went the full 6 rounds. Probably gave Gibson maybe round 5, but man, Teslenko improves to 14-0. He has 11 KOs. He cannot get Gibson out of there, and I expected this to go the full distance. Gibson is known for, he's a tough journeyman type of guy, man. I've talked about his journeyman status, and you know, if you're in there for a 4-rounder or a 6-rounder or an 8-rounder, he's going to take your prospect the limit. You know what I mean? He's fought in the World Series of Boxing. He's sparred hundreds of rounds with Wilder and Malik Scott in Brazil and Gerald Washington. So he's been around, you know what I mean? As far as this fight right here, though, man, Teslenko, he knocked him down in the first round with a quick right hand. It was so quick, it almost looked like a slip. And then when they came back from the commercial break, you can tell that Teslenko hit him with a right hand as Avery Gibson kind of dropped his left hand, and he was kind of leaning in, looked like he was going to try to jab. And Teslenko caught him with a really quick right hand that dropped him. That was the first round. All right. Then the second, third, and fourth, it looked like Teslenko, well, shit, throughout the whole fight, wanted nothing to do with the inside fight. He was pretty much just willing to clinch with Gibson. It was even getting to the point where Teslenko was clinching and then literally looking at the ref like, all right, break us. You know what I mean? I wish a lot of these guys, man, these big heavyweights will start to watch some of Riddick Bowe inside fighting. Shit, go watch the Bowe Holyfield trilogy, man. Watch some of the inside fighting. You know what I mean? And start to mix it up on the inside a little bit more, because some of these guys just hold, and that's all they do. Now, I understand you can do it as a tactic to sully, you know, like a guy that likes to fight on the inside. You want to wrap him up, hold him, walk him backwards, turn him. I get that, you know what I mean? But sometimes, man, it's okay to let your hands go a little bit on the inside. He just wanted nothing to do with the inside fight. Sometimes Gibson was initiating some of the holding when Gibson was kind of running out of ideas, because he was showing Teslenko different looks, but he was coming up short with everything. The high guard look, Teslenko was getting off first, keeping him at the end of his jab. And then Gibson kind of dropped his hands, was, you know, kind of giving Teslenko his shoulder, trying to, you know, dip and roll and shoot jabs and then come over the top with overhand rights and overhand lefts. But even that wasn't really working. And that fifth, forget which round it was. I think it was the 5th round where he landed like a nice left hook. It came out of nowhere and landed on Teslenko like the top of his head. He wasn't hurt, but you can tell he kind of went to go clinch first, as if it did buzz him a little bit. All right, but he wasn't wobbling around or anything like that. So I probably gave Gibson, like I said, maybe the 5th round. But that 5th and 6th round was sloppy from both guys. You know, if there's one thing I do want to see Teslenko work on, he is 6'4". He does fight like a tall fighter, kind of Klitschko-esque type of fighting style. But work on his strength and working on conditioning, because he was breathing pretty deep going into the 5th and 6th round. So was Avery Gibson. A lot of holding and clinching and shit like that. But for the most part, though, Teslenko was using his jab, shooting good straight right hands. I want to see him bring that left hook behind that right hand and start to punch in combination a little bit more. He has done that in previous fights against lesser opposition. I know some of you may take a look at Avery Gibson's record and say, you know, he is lesser opposition, but he's never been knocked out before. He's a tough guy to get out of there. He actually upset, what's the guy's name? Yoto Pereira, the guy that, the Ecuador guy that I believe he qualified for the Olympics in 2012. And Pereira actually beat Dominic Brazil in the amateurs, and he knocked out Simon Keane, who was a 15-0 prospect up there in Canada. And speaking of Canada, although Teslenko, he fought this fight right here on the undercard of Jennings versus Dimitrenko. I know he's with DiBella. DiBella has Teslenko. He has George Arias, who's an undefeated prospect, and he also has Junior Fa. So I'm not sure if DeBella wants to pair those guys up to fight each other. But one thing I can say is I think Teslenko can get some fights up there in Canada. Now, he is a Ukrainian guy who moved his career to Canada. He fought all his coming up, you know, he fought a lot of his shit, pretty much all his fights out there when he was in the Ukraine, and you know, he fought in different tournaments, but had close to 300 amateur fights, only lost like 20 of them, you know what I mean? So he has a lot of amateur experience. He just turned 26 like last month, you know what I mean? So I like what I see. Just want to see him work on the strength and conditioning, working a little bit, you know, throwing combinations on the inside and not being able to get pushed backwards so easy. Because when Gibson was clinching him, he was able to move him back pretty easily. But yeah, man, Avery Gibson started to run out of ideas no matter which stance he was taking, whether it was high guard or he was trying to slip and roll shots. He was landing here and there, being successful with some overhand lefts and rights, all right? But I would like to see Teslenko get some more fights in Canada and fight possibly Mladen Malas, who's undefeated prospect himself, who I believe he has the Canadian heavyweight title. Either him or maybe the winner out of Simon Keane versus Dylan Carmen. You know what I mean? That, and I actually did a video about this before about Teslenko, Malas, and Carmen. Carmen and Simon Keane. Simon Keane, Malas, and Teslenko. Those three guys. But Carmen isn't an easy, it's not going to be an easy fight for Keane. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to see that fight, Keane versus Carmen. And maybe the winner can fight Malas or Teslenko. You know, I would love to see a mixture of all those guys fight, man. You know, but you let me know what you think in the comment section about this fight. Again, if you have ESPN Plus, I believe it was recent events I went to, but I just watched the fight. So as of about 20 minutes ago, the fight is still on the ESPN app, all right? It was on the Dimitrenko Jennings undercard. So if you have that app, go and watch this fight, man. But Teslenko gets the job done, improves to 14-0. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm gone.